right, more. So now he's going to give his perspective on the tariffs that Trump is so excited about.
The president also says, you may pay more here, right? But I got you on the tax cuts. In fact, he tweeted, when tariffs cut in, just this morning he said this, many people's income taxes will be reduced or eliminated, and he's going to focus on those making less than $200,000 a year. This is not going to get done by Memorial Day, is it?
Look, I don't know. That would be very fast for it to get done. The other thing we need to understand about tariffs, and I think this is obvious, is tariffs are highly regressive, meaning that poorer people end up paying a disproportionate percentage of the tariffs because they spend 100% of their paychecks on goods. So they're going to Walmart, they're going to their stores, they're buying goods with their paycheck. Wealthier people save a bigger percentage of their paycheck. So the tariffs are going to affect the poorer people more.
We got to leave it there, Gary.
So there, he absolutely obliterates a Trump narrative about, well, you know, the foreign countries, they pay the tariff. It's not you. It's not the people. The foreign countries pay the tariff. He's like, no, a tariff is effectively a tax on the bottom 90% of Americans. People who spend all the money they make and they get by paycheck to paycheck. That is a tax. So for Trump to even talk about, oh, we're going to cut taxes for working class people, but you're effectively raising taxes anywhere in the ballpark of $4,000 to $5,000 because of the tariffs. So you're not going to offset that. And the other thing is, as you all know, the idea that, oh, their tax cuts are going to target, you know, the bottom 90% is preposterous. In the first term, his tax cut, 83% of the benefits went to the top 1% in the long run. 83% of the benefits. That's what we're looking at again. The real goal here is to put all the tax burden on the working class through tariffs, right? And remove the tax burden from the top 1%. That's the idea. Because he brags all the time. The 1890s were our best time. We were the richest we've ever been. It was an amazing time. The great 1890s. And the 1890s were what? The robber baron era. 10 people had fucking everything. And everybody else was a corporate peasant slave. And was working for crumbs. And were living in tenement homes. And we had child labor. And kids would lose their arm in a machine at the factory. That's what that was. So, look, again, in retrospect, this guy Gary Cohn comes out looking like a star because, and there were some articles recently like, hey, you have to explain basic concepts to Trump, right? I think one of the things was he had to explain to Trump that a trade deficit isn't necessarily bad. Trump hears the word deficit, like trade deficit, and he's like, oh, we're getting screwed, we're getting robbed, we're getting ripped off. And this guy had to explain to him like, hey man, when you go to your barber, and let's say you pay $50 per haircut, you've been going to your barber for years. Dog, that you have a trade deficit with your barber, but it's not like you walk away empty-handed every time you got your hair cut, right? So a trade deficit is not necessarily a bad thing. A trade deficit just means, you know, in many instances, we are consuming a lot here, right? This is a consumer economy, effectively. And so we had to explain these things in the most elementary, basic-ass terms ever. And there were so many times he said, look, I hit a brick wall. I would explain something to Trump, and then I have to retool it. And I'm sure that this guy, there were many instances where Trump said, I want you to do this thing. And he's like, yes, sir, right on it. And then he just went and didn't do it, knowing that this would be catastrophic for everybody. So in retrospect, these sorts of guys, the more establishment types that kept the train on the tracks, they look like fucking superstars now. Because now Trump is surrounded by Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem and the biggest ball-coddling sycophants on the planet who will never tell him no about anything. And now we're all just sitting here waiting for the inevitable destruction of the United States economy. Well, this is effectively, he's sounding the alarm here. He's like, you're going to feel the effects of the trade war, and the tariffs are a massive regressive tax, and this is not going to go well. So this is the former administration official, and notice how he can just go on there and tell the truth, right? Here's the current administration official, Scott Bessent. Now, to be fair, Scott Bessent is viewed as one of the less crazy people in the administration, right? He's not a Pete Hegseth type. He's not one that's just totally rent my brain out to Trump in every imaginable way, and this'll work out, and we have full faith in the Fuhrer. He's not one of those people. He's one of the few remaining somewhat establishment-type voices, somewhat educated-type people who understands the consequences of what Trump is doing here. But look at how much this guy has to degrade himself to effectively keep the Mad King happy. So he's on this week on ABC, and the host is going to bring up, hey, Trump says we're making all these deals, but the other countries are saying, we haven't fucking talked to these people at all. There's no deal. We're not talking. The fuck do they mean? He's lying. Trump is lying when he's like, we got all these great deals. And so they asked the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, about this, and look at what he has to say.
Let's talk about the Time interview with President Trump. He said that he has made 200 deals on tariffs. 200 deals? Who has he made deals with? Is there...
By the way, there's not even 200 countries. Oh, my God.
Actually any deal at this point?
I believe that he is referring to sub-deals within the negotiations we're doing. And, Martha, if there are 180...
But those aren't actual deals.
Martha, if there are 180 countries, there are 18 important trading partners. Let's put China to the side because that's a special negotiation. There's 17 important trading partners, and we have a process in place over the next 90 days to negotiate with them. Some of those are moving along very well, especially with the Asian countries.
So, oh no, we don't have deals. He must have been talking about the sub deals. Bruh. Bro, they initially said there's going to be 90 deals in 90 days. Well, shit, it's already been what, 15 days, maybe more? How many deals are there? Donut. China is literally saying, we are not going to talk to you until you remove the tariffs. You are coercing the situation. You are bullying. We're not going to cave to bullying. It's not happening. So remove the tariffs and then we talk. So the idea, bro, they're working really hard around the clock. Are you, Trump was hanging out with, what's his name? The football player, Saquon Barkley or whatever his name is. Trump was hanging out with him the other day, fucking golfing at Mar-a-Lago. What the fuck are you talking? He's not doing any of this shit. He's not doing it. It is amateur hour. I say it all the time, but not only are these people evil, they're also incredibly stupid and incompetent. Everything they do, it comes through, bro. But now they're so used to saying everything's fake news. We don't believe the media at all. Fake news, fake news. Well, the media has been warning and sounding the alarm. Here are going to be the impacts of this fucking trade war, and it's going to be catastrophic, and you're going to have mass layoffs, and prices are going to skyrocket. And they're still doing the media, fucking lying media, fake news media. And it's like, okay, well, that's about to happen. Then what are you going to say? Then what are you going to do? They've boxed themselves into a corner, and now you have the relatively more respectable, more intelligent members of the administration castrating himself on live TV like, oh no, we don't have deals, but we have sub-deals? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? You don't even know what that means. It's, oh my God. Professional propagandists and liars is what we're witnessing, and it is not even subtle. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.